Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is true. Mama may have, and your papa, he may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own. Moment you've got lots of friends crowding around your door. Money gone, and you're still here. They don't come no more. Rich relations give a crust of bread and say, you can help yourself, but don't take too much. Y'all want me to stop? Mama may have. People, how y'all doing? Hi, Princess A. Tanya B. Mocha Drop. What's going on? Hi, Connie. Kimberly White and Sherry Morrison. How y'all ladies doing on today? Well, one of the stories is they're talking about Kevin Hunter. I don't know if his name is actually Kevin Hunter or is it Calvin Hunter? Sometimes people say Calvin, and some people say Kevin. I think the father's name, his actual name is Calvin. They called him Kevin. So did they call the child or the junior Kevin? Anyway, Wendy Williams' son. Wendy Williams' son has been in a struggle since the bank took over her conservatorship, right? Apparently, he's now being evicted from a luxury high-rise apartment, which is the rent is around $9,000 a month. Now, a lot of people are judging this kid. As far as I don't know the details, of course. It seems like I've heard in the news that they have fallen out in some way where she's not in contact with him. But his mama is struggling, really seriously struggling, right? So from what I've got from the story, for the last year or so, he's been saying that he's been taking care of his mama. Well, my thing is, if you're taking care of your mama and your mama is in the state that we've seen her in, why aren't you living back with your mama? This dude is still in school. So I don't blame him. I mean, it's not like it's his fault that he was born rich, right? They've never known anything other. He's never known anything other than being privileged, right? Anyway, I'm all over the place. Let me start from the beginning. So Kevin Hunter Jr. is being evicted, right? His mama put down $100,000 for 1 year. Damn, that's all you get for a whole year. The rent on this apartment. They call it a $2 million apartment. I don't know what difference the value of the apartment is. You go by how much is the rent. That's what he's not the owner of the property. So it being $2 million, how you putting a price on a rental? It's not his business. But it's around $9,000 a month, right? This kid is born into privilege, right? I'm sure he's a kid that in the senior year of high school was probably driving around in BMWs. That's what the white kids do. I don't know why it'd be any different. All these people y'all call them celebrities, talking about all these millions of dollars they're making. How do their kids live, right? If you are making $10, $15 million a year, wouldn't you want the best for your children? So I don't think it's unusual that a mother who is a celebrity, who has an ongoing television show, and her son goes off to college, I don't see anything wrong with her paying for his apartment, right? I don't know how college works. I think you can only live in a dorm for the first year, and then you can have your own apartment. She could afford it at the time. That is excessive to pay $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month. But as far as I know, 19, 20-year-old kids are not thinking about owning big houses, right? I mean, there's no family or anything, just being there by themselves. So they want to live in something stylish, something fashionable, what you would expect. She's not going to be a big time celebrity and see her kids living in shacks, right? If your child asks for bread, will you give him a stone? Of course not. You're going to give him the very best. And so around February last year, Wendy started losing her mind. And the people said there's a lot of activity going on with her money, and we're concerned that she's going to blow through this entire account. So they froze her accounts, and she had to go through a lengthy court battle to get control of her own money, because she's basically, I hate to judge, but she's a drug addict, right? And apparently there's so many people in her pockets that people felt like she was being taken advantage of. The money was going out so fast. But I didn't realize they would shut off even her kids who are in college. Her child is in college. They would cut him off as well. They cut off the father. That's understandable. But to cut him off from her finances as well, apparently he is $70,000 in the hole to these people. He was probably trying to hold on until she regained control of her own money, thinking, well, this is a temporary thing. It's probably why they let him get so far behind, because after the year was up, he immediately stopped paying the rent. Why? Because he ain't got no money. If all the money's coming from Wendy, he don't have any. He's a college student, right? Anyway, so we can't blame the kid because he was born rich. It's probably what they would expect. I'm sure other kids in his college, they probably live in similar situations if they have wealthy parents, whether their parents are in show business or in real estate or whatever they're in. They are people of privilege, right? And now suddenly to be cut off at the knees, I don't know that it's fair to him. I would think that if you have bills and if their conservatorship, if they're paying her light bills and her mortgage and they're paying all the basics, right, they would also include the finance of her son. Her son is like essentially like her, unless they've fallen out to such a degree, or because he has done something personally where he is the problem. Many people have suggested that this man has run up $70,000? Oh no, $100,000 on his mother's American Express. As far as I know, American Express is supposed to be paid up by the month, right? So if he's blowing through money at $100,000 a month, that might be why he was included in the people to cut off, if they're just taking advantage of the mother, right? Not even knowing if she's going to live for much longer. Wendy Williams has got so many problems, so many health issues. She's looking so bad. And then people are spending her money. So I don't know what y'all think about it, but I kind of feel for the kid. He is 22 now, which would mean all this started. He got cut off at 21. I don't know what you would expect from him if he's a full-time college student. And it comes down to his mama's paying his rent for his apartment, which probably, if you interviewed most rich people, they're probably paying for their children's apartments while they're in school and maybe for a time after school. She's simply paying his rent. And more has to be revealed there if he's one of the ones taking advantage. I don't feel anything at all for her husband, her ex-husband, who cheated on her, had another woman and another family, and then end up marrying the other woman, and then you expect her to support you for the rest of your damn life. That's pitiful. I think that if the husband, Kevin Hunter Sr., he says that he built her and he made her. Well, if you are such a skilled producer, sir, and you made this woman and you took her from nothing and you put her on a hill and made her put a crown on her head, why can't you do that for other artists by now? This is going on a couple of years. She finally got enough of your ass when you start producing children. Why don't you get off your lazy ass and go and find other talent? There is certainly other talent out there to be developed, to be managed. It's work. You said you're a master at it. So why are you just going to try to blow through whatever Wendy Williams has earned in her lifetime. So I don't feel anything for him at all. He says he is facing foreclosure because he ain't getting no alimony payments. Nigga, you're supposed to give your wife the alimony payments. You're supposed to support her. If you're claiming that you are some super producer, then you should be in just a good financial situation as her. Certainly, you didn't go through everything in 1.5 years, right? Why isn't your son living with you? He should be living with somebody. If the funds are temporarily cut off from the family, he should be able to move in with one of his parents. I would think the parent who needs him most, which would be Wendy Williams. If he has to leave that school and go to another school in her town, where does she live, in New York or something? Go there and be there with her. That's what a lot of people do. They get out of school and they got to go back home for whatever the reasons. We as people, regular, normal people, we're not used to people having that kind of money. So it really, us looking in from the outside, we'll say, oh, it's a grown man. If a man don't work, he don't eat. Get your ass out there and get a job. He's still in college. He's supposed to get a job after he gets out of college. And I would imagine she would have been carrying him after that. So we don't know what went on in the family, why she wouldn't pick up the bills. He should certainly have lost that apartment, right? Because he's going to be approaching a time where he's going to have to be independent. And he can't expect her to keep paying for these $8,000 rental apartments. That's crazy. He could live in a normal apartment, right? I don't know what this conservatorship is, but certainly they will provide something for him, at least until he gets out of school. We don't expect Wendy Williams' son to be down there working at Burger King just to get through school. Yes, many people do it. Lots of people do it, honey. They do it because they have to do it. If their mama or their daddy was a Wendy Williams on television, they wouldn't do it. Rich kids, every time you see a movie about a rich kids, you always see their children riding around in BMWs, child, and Jeeps and all this stuff. They do it because they have it. So poor Wendy Williams, this is such a tragedy. This is such a tragic situation. And she doesn't even look like she could hold on much longer, the condition that we have sometimes seen her in. They'll prop her up and say she's doing great and put her, you can do miracles with just makeup and hair and all that stuff. And they'll put her out here like everything is great. But I don't, my experience with dope, either you're on it or you're off of it. If she is still relapsing, or she's coming on and drinking and so forth, they would tell me that she is not sober, right? And she is in crisis. She's lost this program. Her mind ain't right, correct? She doesn't even have the support of her own son. We're assuming they're on bad terms, right? But if my mama had money to support me, she would. Shit, she ain't never had it. It's never been an option, honey. Ain't nobody got no $8,000 for fucking rent. Shit. What y'all think? You have the boy then charge up. Is he buying 100? Isn't American Express? Don't you pay that by the month? Every month you're supposed to go back to zero balance. Surely he's not trying to blow through $100,000 a month. Now that would be reason to cut him off. Okay. 100K would buy you a decent house in Cleveland, paid off cash. Ooh. It would certainly be the down payment. Your mortgage would be $100 a month, child. But these are people of privilege, honey. You think that he's the only one? All them rich kids are living like that. Are living with their parents. Because the houses are so big, they need somebody to live in them, honey. I had Kevin Hunter Sr. running to the courts because he can no longer pay his bills with Wendy's money, and his home is about to go. Well, shouldn't your house go into foreclosure if you ain't got no money? Kevin Hunter, what are you expecting from this woman? Right? Are you trying to pull every dime you can get out of this woman before she dies? What is your end game? You're just not going to work anymore because you happen to have managed the career of Wendy Williams years ago? I don't understand it. He's out there when they were together. He was out there buying Rolls Royces for his mistress with her money. Baby. Take your hell up. My daddy said, he buy me the best goodie treats and kibble snaps. He don't have to because I'm his son. The best for the best, right, baby? I saw the best in you, you little rascal. Kevin Hunter, you're not no hell of a producer, bruh. If you cannot produce anything other than one show, but you got to be married to the person in order to produce them. Aren't there other hungry actors, actresses, MCs, people who you could also manage? What are you just waiting to run her money out first? Come on, baby, stop. You're gonna go in the bedroom. Stop. Sit down. These men living off of women. Child. Baby, people are hustling in Hollywood every day, honey. They're looking for talent every day. They're having what do they call those calls where they come, they take on new clients, build new careers. You had a little bit of reputation when you left with her. Now you got all this baggage you got to carry over. Nobody wants you to be bothered with your ass. So you go start buying Rolls Royces with their money. Tanya B says that's right. He was raised wealthy, and that's all he's known. I hope they're not going to just say you're on your own because you're past 21. 21 is a very young person, particularly if you're a college student. You start at 19. Is he even a senior in college, a junior or something like that? I assume that he's not on the street, so he must have got into somewhere. But yeah, he's going to have to just tone it down to a normal, regular type of living, you know. And if hopefully this conservatorship does allow that. Or did she get out of the conservatorship now? She has more control over her money. I don't imagine, even if you're mad at your children, you would cut them off, have them out here on dope, living on the street. I don't see that. Come on, he gonna get foreclosed on. Nigga, goodbye. So what? You went out there and bought your mistress a house, moving to your mistress's house. How many rental properties are you hiding in her name? Right? Remember when he was with Wendy, he went and bought the mistress a house for the new baby, his new family, while he's living off of her dime. So just move into her house. Let the other one go. You can't afford it because you don't make any money. And maybe that'll make you hustle so that you can afford it. Since you've had a taste of the good life, go and do it again. Let's do it again. Do it again. Let's do it in the morning. Sweet days come summertime. Baby, make yourself do it again. Prove to us, Kevin Hunter Sr., that you are who you say you are, and that you are a star maker, and you have the ability to take these people who are nobodies and make them kings and queens. Let's see you do it without sleeping with them. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, dig in the scene with the gangster link, gangster white walls. Bernice, remember that music? TV antenna in the back. He was buying Rolls Royces. He had twin Rolls Royces. So when he went and picked them up, get your ass out of my car, nigga. Get you a Pinto, a Vega, living off the back of a woman. You didn't invest nothing. If she was making all these millions of dollars, child, and you were her manager, which would probably mean your contract called for you to, bleed her for everything she had. Didn't you invest any of that money? Was it all just about buying Rolls Royces and having mistresses and buying them Rolls Royces and Jaguars and just spending like there's no tomorrow? Kevin Hunter, you're not even an old man. Now it's your turn to shine. Wendy raised you all your life. Now it's your time to shine. She got the right to be left alone. Say it again. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the situation is with her money. I think that Wells Fargo, we would have to say that they did a good thing, because if the son was spending $100,000 a month, and who God only knows what this Kevin Hunter Sr. had access to, he's still buying Rolls Royces and high rises and shit. They probably could have blown through that money. We always say, well, that's impossible. She got so much money. People don't say, if they're making $10 million a year, they say that's her income. So half of it goes to the government. So they actually got $5 million a year. It is not unheard of that these people blow through that kind of money. All you gotta do is look on YouTube looking for broke athletes, people who had $50 million contracts, and you'll see they blew through all that damn money. If you're gonna be making money like that, you need to get your ass in some kind of financial, go to school and learn about handling your finances, honey. Because there's vultures all over the place. There's vultures in the trees, child. No, Wendy had her own back from radio days in New York City. No, when he married her for her career. He immediately got involved with her career. She became his job, right? Some people will say, don't have your family working for you. Let's just have a family. She thought she had a family. She stuck up for him until she found out about the baby. But she even knew he had a mistress. Ungrateful. I didn't follow the story real deep. I'm not really into worshiping celebrities kind of thing. But she has been in the news for a good 3 years. The downfall of Wendy Williams. And it could end horribly. People don't realize that how close she is to the edge. Out there all skinny like that, walking around in her bathrobe, in her house shoes, out in the middle of New York City. You love your mama, move in with your mama, settle your differences, right? And show her that, mama, I'm not here to take advantage of you. I don't want your money. Yeah, I need a certain amount to go to school, right? I'm going back in the fall, but I'm going to leave there. I'm going to go to NYC, New York City. What's that school over there? I'm sure he can transfer to another school. His credits are probably transferable, and go near you. And I'm going to be here with you so that you have real support. You don't have hangers on of people taking advantage of you, right? And I'm certainly not going to take advantage of you. And I'm sorry for whatever I've done. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about money. We've had it so long that it never even occurred to me about my spending, because we've always spent that way. And I'm sorry. What y'all think? Her son might be money hungry, like his daddy. They are afraid of that money running out, honey. Everybody got their hands out. They see what kind of state she's in. So much so that the bank had to lock up her accounts. They don't want the money to end up gone before they get a piece, right? The money is separate from the mama. They need to be focusing on the mama. She's in crisis. She's in and out of drug programs. She's already admitted that she... Excuse me while I raise my child. Come on, you ding dong. No, too late. Get it bum over there. Ding dong, 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 dong. You got to put my child on punishment. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't expect him to have shit. Maybe he had a few $1,000s in the bank. He's a college student. He just got out of high school and went into college. Child, he ain't got no money. Whatever she get him from spending money, but he would have spent that by now. What's it been? A year? How much was she giving for spending money? You know. Then he has no other income. So it really is pretty shocking that they would just cut off all of her bills, unless they felt like he was part of the problem. Now, I don't know what the situation is. She said that they're not in contact. How are you not in contact with your mom? You're 21 years old. Your mama's in crisis. No, yes, she may be abusive. She's going through a hard time. But if you love your mama, go there and be with her. Forget about your own ambitions for a while your family's in crisis. That African-American gentleman that she was married to has chosen to go on and build his own life with another woman, right? But you are permanently tied to your mama. That's your family forever. There is no divorce from your mama. Get it together. Maybe someday it'll come where you're not in that dire straits or that financial situation, but you want your mama to be in good mental health at that time, right? Wendy Williams doesn't have to just be in show business, right? There's all kind of ways she could come out of this thing financially. It's because she has seed money to do that. She can do other things, other business you can have businesses together. You can do all kinds of things together, right? But first we need to deal with your mama and your mama's mind and her sobriety and so forth. Maybe the show business things need to just go away. We've done that. We were successful at it. We made our mark, and then we'll do other things. A lot of people who used to have television shows, we don't see them on television anymore, right? I'm sure they're doing other things now. Johnny Carson, I don't know, Sandy Duncan, all these people who we knew had television shows back in the day, have moved on to other careers now. That's real sad. You work all of your life and can't enjoy your own money. Everybody else is enjoying your money, everybody but you. That's right, blue skies. It is sad. I think if she gets clean, though, if she gets sober and she gets her health is well treated. I mean, I have a whole host of diseases and ailments and all kinds of shit, but I manage them, right? She can have the best medical care. And if she stays sober, she will eventually overcome them or certainly manage them, right? And then she can actually start enjoying the fruits of her labor. You know what I mean? As long as he got these people in there pulling, somebody was getting that money out of there, though. Somebody was a threat in order for them to shut her account down, saying you're not capable of handling your own money. That's a bold move. Blue Sky says, I'm sure he's getting some money. Well, what's some money to him, though? To us, hell, give me an extra $1,000 a month. I'll be happy and satisfied. But for him, he said, what the hell is this? This is just my McDonald's money. But you're in school, you should be focused on your education, right? Or whatever your ambitions are. If you're going to be an attorney, I would suggest you focus on your career. Surely there's enough money available for that, right? Don't worry about the spending right now. Don't be like your daddy, the Rolls Royce king. This nigga bought 2 matching Rolls Royces. All her money is in one bank. I would hope not. Blue skies. Wells Fargo was the big one, I guess. You got to watch who you put in charge of your money, too. I don't know who their executor is, but you got to watch them, too, right? You got to be literate about your money. Know what goes in or what goes out, or just don't let nothing go out. Period. I'm paying my cable and my light bill. That's it. Nigga, who is this? Girl, okay, we're entertaining for the moment, Dr. Pastor Jay Wilson with the fake picture. Once again, you are speaking on topics that you know nothing about. You think you are an expert on, no, that's you, nigga. And you, the real one and the fake one, right? Jay Wilson thinks that everybody in the planet has to move into a hail. I got a hail. That means I'm now an expert on having a hail. You ain't an expert on shit. You went and made an application for a loan, and you are paying off that loan with blood, sweat, and tears for the next 35 years. That doesn't make you an expert on a goddamn thing. Okay, fake Jay Wilson? Fake one and real one. The nerve. Oh, you ain't never had no hell. You ain't never Miss Thing. Well, what qualifies you to speak on all of the issues of my life then, bitch? You ain't never did nothing. Matter of fact, you ain't even never lived, girl. But you seem to have the answers for everybody's life. They won't take the good advice. They won't take the who won't take advice from you? Silly ass man. She took a day off yesterday after they beat him up so bad for getting caught again. That must be very humiliating for you, fake Jay Wilson. Constantly being caught lying, cheating. Cause you can't shut up. Shut the hell up. Bottom boy. How you going on, bottom boy? Great to see you again as well. Y'all through. Connie said, which one of y'all threw that bait out there? You know he gonna bite. You know he gonna. Okay, let me go over here and block. Let's block him again, girl. You're right. Anytime I hear that boy's name mentioned, child, there I go. So we're gonna go ahead and then hide that user from channel, the fake Jay Wilson. So as long as we don't see the face or name, we might make it, girl. Hi, D Dot, or ex-husband rather. Which one of y'all? Okay. Y'all got any other ideas about the situation with that family? I mean, they are public figures, so you got to expect a certain amount of it. But as far as the kid goes, he needs to go back to school. He said he took off school because of COVID. Well, COVID is not over, but it is certainly receded. And you ain't helping your mama too much if you're in a different state than her. So that's not a good excuse. Before things get any worse, just go to school and focus on your studies. That's it. Right? And maybe see if you can patch things up with your mama. That Negro, he's your daddy. That's a whole other situation, a whole other family. That you are connected to him. He over here crying and begging for rent money his own damn self, girl. So I don't think I would be clinging to him. Your mama needs you. I don't know, Blue Skies. Why people get money and put someone in charge of it when they are broke? They control their money. They were already broke when they started controlling their money. You got to be real careful with that. So many of these music people, you see them riding around on these fancy cars with all this $200,000 worth of chains on the neck and all that. Those people gonna end up broke. They don't know about no money. If they knew anything about money, they wouldn't be hanging $200,000 and $300,000 around their neck. Keep it like that. And sometimes you can't even trust your own family. They'll get your ass too. If you're the only way they're ever going to see money, you're the only one in the family with any money. Many of you listen to their stories, you'll see that their families, a lot of them are supporting their families, honey, and they're getting them for all they can get. Everybody got a handout, Tim, what is the new book that you are working on? It's called Who Shot the Caller? It's in the last book in the series, Murder in the Beef Sector. The first one was about doxing. Second one was about betting. This one is about a caller. A caller is a person who seeks to destroy you by using their telephone, calling your job, calling your school, calling your wife or spouse, calling, trying to ruin you. It happens on YouTube all the time. It is a very real subject. So somebody kills the son of a bitch. Excuse me. Someone kills the African-American gentleman, right? And there are so many suspects because this person has been such a monster on YouTube. That's the new book. I wrote on it today. I'm trying to get my rhythm back, but I'm in halfway through, almost. I'm at 20,000 words. The goal is 45,000 words. So we're almost at halfway through. Y'all got to buy the last one. What's it called? Buy the last one, baby. Murder in the Beef Sector. Here's the series. Murder in the Beef Sector was the first book in that series. And then Deadly Wager is the second book in that series, all available on Amazon. And then the last book is going to be, the title is Who Shot the Caller? But generally speaking, those titles will change. After you finish writing and you're at the end of the book, then you'll know what to call it. Heard anything about Bishop? What, the bishop in New York? What's he talking about, child? I know he's over there desperately trying to stay relevant now. He enjoyed that little moment he had by getting robbed. That was his claim to fame. So, no, I haven't went over there. If he shows up in the news again, I'll certainly cover him. What's interesting to me lately has been William McCrae. Did y'all see William McCrae when the first lady of that church, I forget her name, Mrs. Patterson, she died? He was William McCrae was on there. Oh, Lord. Like that girl. I'm not exaggerating. She had lost her damn mind. I should go over there. I guess that's his way of mourning, honey. You know, the dramatic of the Kojic. You lived on Divisadero Street several years ago. It was a great part of the city. Divisadero, absolutely. It's up at the corner here, bottom boy. So you know where I live then. I live here on Church Street, Church and Market. So Divisadero is at the top of Castro, maybe 2 blocks. This place isn't so big. So you moved away from San Francisco? I love my city, man. Well, I've been here 32 years. So I must like it, right? I ain't got no complaints, child. I wish I did have $8,000 a month to blow on rent. If I had that much money, shit, I'd blow it on a mortgage. I mean, you might as well get something out the deal, right? Because the mortgage wouldn't be any more than that. But he was in a high-rise luxury place. I'm sure they probably have amenities and other young people there, other rich kids there. You know, I can see it. I don't imagine if I was a single, I hate to say a child, but a 21-year-old, what would I want a big house for? Right? And I'm sure they weren't planning on leaving so abruptly, where the gravy train would be cut off so suddenly. You moved to Los Angeles, bottom boy? Yep, I lived on San Vicente. I lived on West Knoll. I lived my whole youth in West Hollywood. I used to go to I used to live above, there's a bar there it used to be called the Blue Parrot. I had an apartment above the Blue Parrot in the, what was that, 80s? Early 80s. Then I moved to San Vicente. Then I moved to West Knoll. I loved LA. I moved to San Francisco because I got in trouble with meth and the prison sent me here. That's the only reason I came to San Francisco. Now, I had visited for years. I always partied up here. I would stay in the bathhouses, just party for a couple of days and then go back to LA. But after I got here, I started dealing here on the streets. I fell in love with the city and then never went back. I haven't even been back to LA to visit in 32 years. It's a great place to live, though. The state of being, there has to be others out there according to the acronym COVID. We've had Corona, Octomon, and Delta. Where is V and I? I don't understand, Connie. Are you you're naming all of the various variants of this damn COVID? Well, so far I see that people are almost nobody's wearing a mask out in public, and about in the stores, about half the people are. It's not required right now. In the restaurants, I see that the employees seem to be required because the employees all seem to have masks on. But people, of course, it's kind of hard to eat with a mask on. So at some point, you got to take it down anyway. But all the restaurants are open here. Of course, I've had, I think, 5 shots now. 2, 3, 4. I think I got 4 or 5. Whenever they pop up, I get them, the vaccines. But that's nice, bottom boy. Why you call yourself bottom boy? You ain't got to tell the people all your business. But we know this is the internet, bottom boy, so we don't know. You could be a 95-year-old woman over here giggling at us. We don't know, right? You can't trust none of the pictures. You can't trust the names. You can't trust anything, Chad. But LA is great, though. I came there at 19. Mm-hmm. Right, but in China, they're still taking it serious as if they know something. I'm good. Okay. Yeah, I still wear my mask wherever I go. I do. Mm-hmm. There was another news story here. What was that? That clown in Georgia. I don't know why that was even close. When they show you those maps about Georgia, and you see just these few little blue dots on the map, I guess those are the most heavily populated places. And this is how Warnock was able to win. But most of the state was all red, and they would put somebody like Herschel Walker in office. This shows you again the incompetence of this damn Donald Trump, because that was a pick of Donald Trump, just a flunky to go in there and vote the way they tell him to vote. Right? The man could barely speak English, but I think when it ended, it still was just a couple of points. It's horrible. People would be willing to do that. They would sit up there and put something like that in the Senate. So what does that say for the future? You just picking people just to stick in there, just so you can tell them what to do? It's terrible. It's embarrassing. And it was hard on his family. Now they're probably even more broken than they were in the first place. Now they know all about his affairs and what he's probably doing now, So that family is even more broken than they were when he started. His son couldn't even understand how he had the nerve to run for Senate. They were going to do it. Politics is a nasty game, honey. And all we talking about now is Trump again. Why don't he just go away? Damn, you had your moment, honey. Go the fuck, get the hell out of here. Now they're talking about what they're going to do is they're going to talk him up. They're going to get the nomination again, just by the haters, hateful people. We're going to have all kind of riots again, right? People going to start looting and breaking out windows and shit, right? In protests of all the hatred and the bigotry and all that'll come back. Then we go in and attack the trans people. We go in and attack all the athletes. We're going to attack everybody, child, to try to please these bigots, the most hateful people who are so afraid of the world being taken over from them. They feel like they got the upper hand and they want to keep it. It's pitiful. It's disgusting. And a runoff, in the runoff, it was still that close. Girl, they were tied in the first race, and then in the runoff, it was still that. And the man is already in the Senate. We already know we can trust him. What the hell is Herschel Walker going to do? What was he going to do there? Tell us about vampires? Oh, I'm going to get the vampire. I'm a wolf. Probably come to office with wolf hands on. I'm going to get the wolf. Because you're an athlete, child, that's no indication of your intelligence at all. One thing has nothing to do with the other thing. It's wonderful that you are good at something. So be happy, be grateful. This is what God gave me. I was a great athlete, right? I can rest on my laurels. But to go and try to be a United States Senator, very arrogant. Mm-hmm. Your hope is that the leader of the insurrectionists will be convicted sooner rather than later. I don't know what it would take to put Donald Trump in jail. They should have threw his ass in jail. He has been investigated and impeached and shit ever since he started. Since the day he started, child, he's been under some kind of investigation, either state, federal, local, everybody. Now he's been convicted again in New York City, but they won't even say, but Donald Trump, you are the CEO of this company. We are charging you with the crime. No. Are we going to charge you to the company? The company is guilty of tax fraud. The company this. And the company, why come everybody else, they get charged as them? Did the Chrisleys get charged as their company was the thieves? No, they got charged as them, the thief. They need to throw his ass in jail. Oh, it's never happened in history. Well, he's so fond of making history. When we take reality stars and make them the president, why don't we have new history saying, listen, this will never happen again. We're not going to put any narcissist, egomaniac bigot in the White House. Not ever again. He has zero intelligence. Yeah, I'm very happy for you guys in Georgia. You need to have proper representation. At least somebody who's going to, vote for you. Vote for what's right. Not just somebody in some puppet of Donald Trump. Yes, ball. That's the impression you get, girl. Yeah, his little gay son came on there and went off on the child. That's bad. He said he was a bad daddy, abusive man. He beat on women, all kind of shit, girl. They'll probably never be able to patch up that relationship. Mm-hmm. I finished, who is this? GG Verbs? I finished listening to Meth Monster on my drive in Florida. My only complaint is that the person who read it didn't sound authentic. It would have been much more enjoyable had you read it yourself. No, that was a big debate when I did that book. Of course, I wrote the book, and you can still get it on Audible. I mean, you can read it on your Kindle with the mechanical voice. But at some point, I said, well, I want to do an audio book. But I was convinced, like you, Gigi, that I should have someone who at least sounded like a Black person. Why? Because it was autobiographical. It was a memoir about a Black person. I just thought the voice would make a difference. What I've discovered is it really doesn't make a difference. I mean, I'm not writing for just my neighborhood. Anybody could pick up a book up. Anybody interested in math, religion. It's a memoir, so mostly it would be people who actually had some kind of contact with me. But the guy did a good job. I can't read publicly. I would love to be able to read my own books. If I could read my own books, I would have all of them as audiobooks, right? But I have dyslexia, and I'm always struggling. You guys can see, even with just pronouncing your names or staying on track, that my dyslexia makes it where if I'm reading a book, I keep going back over to the same place. I keep losing my place. I can't read line by line. Even if I use a ruler or something like that, it's always a struggle to do public reading. Now, I can read perfectly fine for myself, but I would never do that. So I hope you got the story. The story was important, not my voice. But what I've discovered, because Almond Brown, who was a friend over here, she made a audiobook out of Murder in the Beef Sector, right? And she's a woman, and she read all the characters great, so it doesn't matter who's reading it. The thing about the Meth Monster was it was autobiographical, and it was just a narrative. It was just one person talking, telling the story. There were no characters. So all my other books are primarily their characters, right? I write in dialogue. But I'm glad you read it. Hope you got something for it. It's a spiritual journey. That's what it is. It's a life journey, a spiritual journey. So Meth Monster is my best-selling book. Oh, available on Amazon.com. Oh my God, I got so many of them, Jeff. I don't got one handy. My desk is full of books. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Amazon.com. You can get all of those. Even though the title suggested it's Meth Monster, it was originally, the original title was Recovery by Faith, right? And when I got through with it, like I said before, at the end of it, I said, no, this book is a Meth Monster. It sounds right and look right. Drugs are a monster, honey. Mm-hmm. Let me see what you're saying. Uh-huh. Let me see, Bottom Boy. Oh, yeah, you my type, Bottom Boy. But Bottom Boy, they know what my type is, so they'll put a picture of some little cutie, some little blonde cutie in there, and they'll try to play me. So right, so I can't be flirting with you. Like I said, you might be 99 years old, child, sitting back there smoking stuff, laughing at me, child. Anyway, you guys, thanks for coming in today. Thanks for coming in. We'll get back and find out what the current news is. If there is anything else today, then we'll certainly come back. All right. Enjoy your Wednesday. Later.